Hello future CS, welcome back to my channel again. So if you are appearing for the May 2025 CA Inter exams, especially for the corporate and other laws, this video is just for you. The ICAI Board of Studies recently conducted a Success at CA Exams webinar. So the webinar was packed with smart tips, common mistakes, and golden advice straight from the source. So I am bringing you a crisp and clear summary so you can prepare with right mindset and strategy. Let's dive right into the key takeaways that can help you boost your scores and avoid common pitfalls. Also guys, if you are new to my channel, I request you all to subscribe and hit the bell icon below so that you can get notified whenever I post new videos. So guys, when you visit my channel, in the playlist section, you can see there is a separate playlist for CA Inter exams. So in this playlist, you can find different type of study plan, subject specific guidance and much more videos. And there is also a playlist for CA GPT for students. In this playlist, I have made different videos in which I have shown as to how you can use CA GPT while preparing for your exams. So do visit my channel and watch these videos. And there are various other playlists as well which might be helpful for you. So first some key points were discussed in the webinar. So the study material applicable for your May 2025 exam is the July 2024 edition. Next suggestion given was, it was suggested to practice the MCQ from the MCQ dashboard. And also it was suggested that you attempt both the series of mock test papers and also go through the previous year papers and the suggested answers as well, at least for past 5 attempts. So the suggestion was given that for past 5 attempts, you should see what all concepts were asked in the exams and mark those concepts in your study material and go through those concepts. And you should also attempt the MCQ from the case scenario booklet. So recently the ICAI has released a case scenario booklet for each of the subject. So there different type of case scenario MCQ questions are given. This is available in the BOS knowledge portal. So it is very important to practice the MCQ from there. Also in the BOS knowledge portal itself, a Saransh is available. So this has summary of each chapter. You can use this for revision purposes. Also, the ICAI is conducting live virtual classes. So if you have any queries, you can attend these classes. The recording of these are available in the ICAI CATube YouTube channel as well. So you can attend these from there. And it is very important to study the relevant amendments. The link to the amendments applicable for the upcoming May 2025 exams was shared in this webinar. I have attached the link in the description below, so you can download the link from there and you can go through the amendments. So the study material applicable is July 2024 edition, and in that edition the amendments made till 30th June 2024 is updated. However, for your May 2025 exams, the amendments till 31st October 2024 are applicable. So these remaining amendments are available in the link which I have provided in the description below. So please go through those amendments without fail. And while studying, it is very important to make notes of important sections. And it is also important to do written practice. So practice writing the answers as per the standard format based on the ICAI study material, RTP, MTP and the previous year suggested answers as well. And while studying, you can use memory techniques like mnemonics and acronyms. This will help you in retaining the concepts easily. And a suggestion was given that all the legal provisions should be studied in depth so that in exam if any question is asked, you will have the clear knowledge of legal provision and you will be able to answer all type of questions. And it is very important to revise the syllabus again and again and practice it again so that you can attempt the answers easily in the exam. The next point discussed in this webinar was the question paper pattern. So there are two divisions. So division A will be MCQ. This will be for 30 marks. And MCQ can be case scenario based as well as independent MCQ. And in case scenario also it can be integrated case scenario. That is multiple provision can be involved in the case scenario. And in the MCQ part there is no option. All the questions will be compulsory. And next you have division B, which is descriptive type, which is for 70 marks. So question number 1 will be compulsory in this, and out of remaining 5 questions you can attempt any 4 questions. The next important point discussed in this webinar was how to manage time. So first, before starting the exam you will have 15 minutes reading time. So make optimum use of this 15 minutes reading time. So first go through all the questions quickly and then select the question that you would be attempting from all the questions. That is, first you should decide as to which question you will not attempt. Then mark the question which you will be attempting first. So first you write that question which you know the answer the best. So this will create a good impression in the mind of the examiner as well. And also before you start writing, allocate an estimated time for each question based on their difficulty level and marks allotted to them. And also it is very important to keep aside 10 to 15 minutes for revisions. And whatever time you have allocated to each question, ensure that you adhere to that time and you finish writing the answer within that stipulated time. And it is very important to write each answer in commensuration with the marks which the question carries. That is, the answer should be precise and to the point. And also after you finish reading all the questions in the 15 minutes reading time, when you start writing the answer, it is better to read that question again. So before you start writing any answer, read that question again so that the facts remain fresh in your mind. And the first question in the descriptive type, which is the compulsory question, allocate more time to that question. And now if you are wondering as to what type of questions will come in the exam, so the syllabus comprises of 3 parts, right? That is the Companies Act, the Limited Liability Partnership Act and the other law. So in the Companies Act part, there will be 3 type of questions. That is case scenario based question, application based question as well as direct theory question. And then in the Limited Liability Partnership Act, in this you will have only application based and direct theory question. And then your other law, that is the General Clauses Act, interpretation of statutes and the Foreign Exchange Management Act. From these you will get direct theory question. So before going ahead, let's try to understand the difference between these 3 types of questions. So first we have the direct theory questions. So these are the straightforward questions, like asking you to write the definitions, provision or explanation or list from the study material. So there is no real life situation given here. It is just pure theory based question. So an example for this is define a company as per the Companies Act 2013. So this is direct theory question. Now let's see what are application based question. So these type of questions test well as to how you can apply the law to a simple fact. So this question gives a short scenario and asks for the correct legal treatment. Usually it requires naming a section and explaining the provisions before applying it. So for example, for application based question, let's take the following example. A company fails to file its annual return within the prescribed time. What are the consequences under the Companies Act 2013? So this is an example of application based question. So You have to answer this in the following way. First, you have to identify the relevant provision. Then you have to state the rule. And then you have to apply the provision and rule to the given situation and answer the question. Now coming to case scenario based question. So these test your ability to analyze complex situation and, and it helps you think like a professional. So in this long detailed stories are involved and it involves multiple facts and multiple provision. So you must be able to correlate the facts to the different provisions and apply the appropriate law and give the correct conclusion. So usually it looks like real world cases. So in this case, what you have to do is first you have to read the entire story and identify the core legal issue involved. Then you have to quote the relevant section and then apply the law and offer a judgment like a conclusion based on the provisions of the act. So for the case scenario based question itself, the ICI has released the case scenario booklet. So you can go through that booklet and then you can practice different types of case scenario from there. The next important point discussed in this webinar was as to how to answer MCQ based questions. So the options in MCQs are such that a student need to have good knowledge of the provisions and apply them correctly to the case in hand so that they can choose the correct option. Every MCQ has 4 options and all the options are very near to each other. Hence, it is very important to choose the appropriate answer. Hence, it is important that you should have detailed knowledge of the concepts. In case scenario based MCQ, read the scenario carefully. The MCQs arise from the facts of the case scenario. Hence, the MCQ should be read in line with the case scenario. So, first read the facts of the questions given carefully. Then read the MCQ. Then again go to the relevant fact in the case scenario and then solve the MCQ. That will be better. And for MCQ, it is very important to answer on the OMR sheet itself. So you have to mark the answer of MCQ on OMR sheet itself. So read the instruction given by the exam department carefully on how to answer OMR. Read the instruction from the exam department carefully. Usually the instructions will be in the hall ticket itself. So it is very important to follow the instructions there. Do not answer in any other way than what is mentioned by the exam department. And for MCQ, mark only one answer. So usually in case scenario type of MCQ, read first the first paragraph very carefully. It will usually be about the introduction about the company, whether it's a private company, public company or OPC, etc. Or it's a person and the nature of business, restriction of the business. So after reading first, think as to which section or provision the case scenario is based on. Then after reading the MCQ, again you will go to the relevant para and read and analyze the provisions again and then you will answer the MCQ. So while studying, it is very important to always read the provision in its entirety to have a clear understanding of the law so that you can answer tricky and twisted question also in the exam. So next some suggestion was given as to how to answer descriptive question, that is case scenario based or practical based question. So first recall the provisions involved in the given statement. Correlate the legal provisions and question and give the conclusion. So there can be integrated case scenario questions as well, that is combining different provision. So it is better to follow a 3-step approach to give answers for these type of question. First mention the provisions, then mention the legal issue involved, then correlate the provisions with the legal issue in the question and give the conclusion. The answer should be complete in itself. That is, whatever issue the question is asking, ensure you mention all the provisions relating to that. Stepwise marking is there. So ensure that you write all the steps correctly. So that even if you do not get full marks, you will at least get some marks for each of the step. So before deciding the length of the answer, check the question is for how much marks and then decide how long the answer will be. And it is important to write the answer as to based on what is asked in the question. Mention only the relevant provisions relevant to what is asked in the question. The next important point discussed in this webinar was as to how to answer direct theoretical question. So while answering the direct theoretical question, highlight the main point with brief description, such as bullet points with heading, and wherever possible, explain with the help of example. And you can break down the answers in brief points or paragraphs. And other key points to be considered while writing the answer. Many times it was noted that students resort to giving generalized answer without capturing the exact provision. So that has to be avoided. You have to mention the exact provision. And the answer should be given in legible English language only. And also shorthand notes, diagrams should be avoided. Also avoid using short forms, WhatsApp and SMS language also while writing the answer. And in case any abbreviations are used, first define the abbreviation and then you may use it. For example, in case of one person company, if you are writing any answer related to this, so in first itself you mention one person company and in bracket you write as OPC and then you can use this short form OPC everywhere. And mention the important sections. So do not write the wrong section number. If you remember the correct section number, you can quote the correct section. But if you do not remember correct section number, do not write the wrong section number. And also if you do not remember the section number at all, you can write as per the provision of Companies Act 2013, or you can start the answer as per the provision of Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008, etc. So if you do not remember the section number, you can start the answer like this. So if you remember the correct section number, you can write it. You need not mention the subsection number. You can write the answer in your own words, but the concept should be written correct. So it is better to use legal language. No need to write word by word as to what is written in the textbook. You need not copy paste word by word. You should correlate the facts to the provision and give conclusion. You should use legal language. There should be professionalism in your language and it should be simple and appealing language. And if there is any case scenario based question which has any case law relating to it, it is important to write the case law as well. And as mentioned earlier, answer the questions based on the marks allocated to it. So first see for how much marks the question has been given and then you can decide the length of the answer. And then if any relevant information is missing in the question, and there are two possibilities in which you can write the answer. So what you can do is answer in any one way and give the assumption accordingly. So if you are making any assumption, it is very important to write the assumption in the form of note at the end of your answer. And it is very important to read the question carefully. Read the verbs given in the question. So read as to what the question is asking for, whether it's asking to enumerate, explain, define, etc. So based on this, you will have to answer. For example, if the question is given as enumerate something, enumerate means analyze. So you have to analyze that provision and write it. And one more important point while interpreting law is it's important to be careful with the words and the word or, as they can change the entire meaning of the sentence. So and means all the listed conditions must be met, while or means fulfilling any one condition is enough. So misreading them can lead to incorrect conclusion. So while writing law and also while studying, always pause and check whether the law requires all the conditions to be met or just one or two conditions. So guys, that's a wrap on the key highlights from the ICAI Success at CA Exams webinar for corporate and other law. Remember, success in CA exam is all about smart study, clarity of concept, and also consistency and resilience. If you found this summary helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also don't forget to subscribe for more exam focused guidance and updates. All the best for your exams, and I will see you all in the next video.